for Percy. He finally made some friends. He found a safe place where he felt he belonged, Camp Half-Blood, and everything was going okay. And now we're going to flip everything on its head in season 2. His best friend's captured. His camp is under threat. It's run by some jerk and being attacked by waves of monsters. And so Percy has to set out to set things right. And that means a quest to find the Golden Fleece, which is a legendary artifact that can heal anything or anyone. And he needs to use it to restore the protective barrier that surrounds camp. And so season 2 is about Percy trying to hold all of his life together as it's breaking and changing, and that's, you know, it's your typical middle school experience.
Before John goes, I wouldn't classify him as a jerk. I think he has his own motivation. Anyway, it's fine, but John, go ahead.
I think season 1 was a big part of the story was how you couldn't tell what was real and what was a part of this magical world, and so everything felt like it lived in. It was an American road trip, and I think this season you are in the fantasy and in a world that is all magic in every direction, which is both I think a challenge in a bunch of directions, but also really exciting. You know, a show that in which anything is possible is now painted on a canvas in which anything is possible. So it's all kind of an adventure from start to finish, which is really exciting.
Well, I had an answer, and then I came up here and I saw everyone in this room. Well, I mean, I guess, you know, it's Percy's older, I'm older, so we both kind of went back to school in between seasons, and I don't know, I like to think of filming set as like my Camp Half-Blood, and so yeah, it's kind of nice to take a lot of time away and grow and you know, experience real life and then come back and film, you know.
Leah, Ari, you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy coming back because of the big, you know, break between season 1 and 2. So obviously we've all changed a little bit, and coming back.
Yeah, do you want to describe some of the changes at all?
I mean, some slight physical changes, but no, I mean, I don't think any of them are noticeable.
Just a couple feet.
Yeah, just a couple inches maybe on height. So that was definitely a strange experience. But also, like all of our sets, we moved off the volume stage, and so it was like seeing all these things. And you know, we had been to Camp Half-Blood in real life before, like we built that, but like Dan was talking about, these chariot races, and you know, we built more cabins and all of these like crazy set pieces. They were real. Like, we were actually in the world this time. Like I could physically touch some of these things. It was insane. So it just felt like, yeah, we were like building on the foundation of everything that we done in season 1.
To me, it feels like a family reunion. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, we're all actors and stuff.
That's something early. It's not about something.
Obviously, like, you know, like, this is acting and stuff, but generally, once you get on a show like this and it keeps going, it doesn't turn into acting with your co-stars. It turns into playing around and playing dress up with your family or siblings, you know what I mean? So I really feel like coming back for season 2 and seeing all of my beautiful people, baby girl, and then you just wait.
Thanks, man.
And then and everyone else too, yes. And then but I'm really happy, and I'm really happy for the show to be coming out for you guys, and yeah. Is that good? Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to throw this to Daniel. We have a news character this season. Battle scenes, soaking wet, covered in blood, covered in dirt. You're out in the elements, and then you have to go to school. between takes. So can you talk about the challenges of that? Because I always found it immensely impressive.
Yeah, it's very strange. You know what I mean? I feel like we had this giant battle sequence. This is a specific thing that happened, and I remember because I was kind of the only person there that had to do school that day, and so we'd be up there and everyone would be fighting, everyone would be screaming, and there's all these like cries out for help and pain, and then I'd be like in my mind I'm like trying to like kill this dude, and then I'd be in school and I'd like still hear that. It'd be that quiet, and I'd hear people begging for their life, and it's a weird thing in your head to like switch off. You know what I mean? But yeah.
How'd you do in school this year?
Yeah, did you do okay?
Yeah, how'd you do in
Hear
school?
them right now.
You did all right? All right. All right, so this is for Ariane. Grover is the beating heart of this trio and often the voice of hope and humor. So how were you able to explore a different side of this season?
Yeah, I think Grover has the space to be that, only because he has people like Percy and Annabeth by his side. He's never really been alone, I guess, parallel to what Annabeth is going through this season. He grew up in this kind of, this Seder community where everyone is always taking care of each other, and then he went straight from that into camp, and then he had Luke and Thalia and Annabeth and then Percy. And this is his first time where he's, spoilers, ever really truly alone because he gets kidnapped. And it's interesting, like he doesn't have people to rely on, so he kind of has to step up and kind of fend for himself, and that's not really something we've ever seen from him. So I'm excited for people to see that kind of leadership side of him.
That's great.
Also, his wardrobe is a little different this season, so he's making some new fashion choices.
So I think that most people here would agree that we can't wait to see you in a wedding dress.
It's great.
It's magical. Truly.
I think we actually might have a little bit of a teaser camera. But I also, like, that day I got to like meet some horses. I got to pet a horse. I got to feed a horse. Honestly, it was an incredible day. So that's mine. So we're gonna go right down the line, starting with Dior.
Oh, there's so many. There's really so many. I think my top two would have to be, I love stunts. It's like my favorite thing to do because it's just like dancing. But one of my favorite fights that I've ever had was this season, and I'm not gonna say too much, but there's like a little situation where I'm like walking off of a boat, like through the water, and there's fog behind me, and I felt like the coolest person in the world, and I got to beat Walker, so that was really amazing for me.
Just catch the strays today.
But I think my top was, it was a day with you and Jason. Actually, yeah, I was doing off camera, and it was the end of the day, and everybody was like, there was something in the air. Everybody was really tired. But it was like martini, the last shot of the day. And our director, James, it's him and Jason, like on camera. And James goes, okay, yeah, just do whatever. And they're like, okay. And they spent like, I don't know, like 5, 10, 15 minutes just ripping back and forth, and no one could hold it together. The take is not usable, but it was my favorite day on set, like hands down.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Dior, that was a great answer. That was a great answer.
I'm really
All right.
just trying to get teachers' pet points here.
All right, Charlie, for you.
Okay. Yeah, like Dior said, there's too many to choose from, and I mean, there's a lot of good stories from filming that I probably can't share yet, but there is a good one from prep. We did about like 3 weeks of prep before we started filming, and I cleared it with you guys first before, just to make sure it was okay. But yeah, and prep consists of like doing a lot of stunt work and just like team bonding and like, working with our on-set acting coach, Andrew. And we do a lot of these like acting exercises, and one of them is like we stand in a circle, and it's sort of like a repetition exercise. Like we say a line and then they say it back to you, and you kind of just go back and forth. Even if it doesn't make sense, you try to make it make sense. But anyway, this one day, Walker and Oren were in the circle, and I think Andrew was really trying to implement the empathy link between them.
Something like that.
Because he just had them get closer and closer as they were saying their lines to each other. And then eventually he was like, okay, now touch foreheads. And they touched foreheads, and they were there for a good, 30 seconds, I feel like.
It felt like we were years.
Yeah, which doesn't sound like a long time, but when you're staring into someone's soul.
You're forgetting a big part of this.
Oh yeah, I wanna-
We had to touch foreheads and make eye contact.
Sorry.
We couldn't close our eyes.
We had to take a little bit of a friendship break.
We didn't like look at each other for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, but that was definitely one of my favorite moments, I think, from the season.
All right, Charlie, that was a pretty good
Glad you
answer. I
enjoyed
still
it.
have Dior in the lead. But that was pretty good, thank you.
No, I'm glad you liked that moment so much.
It was,
I'm happy someone got some joy.
I'll never forget it.
All right, Ariane, for you.
I mean, yeah, like everyone's been saying, there's so many options to choose from. This isn't my answer, but there's the last day of set, me and Walker put on really stupid fake tattoos.
Oh my God.
And we came on a set and we were like, is it hot in here? And we took off our shirt and it was just one big Grim Reaper tattooed onto our body. A lot of crazy stuff happened that last day, but me and Alex, who's the guy who plays Polyphemus, he is maybe the coolest guy I've ever met. He was getting his prosthetics on, and he was doing a bit as I was getting my gears on. He's like, oh, I never actually proposed to you, because the whole thing is that we get married. And I was like, hey man, if I can find a rig, would you? And he said yes. And I was like, I'm gonna hold you to that. And at the end of every last day of shooting, our producers throw this beautiful casting room. I mean, it's lovely, and casting crew, everyone who works on our set is there.
Everybody.
They're all at the same table, maybe 500 people. And I got a bunch of rings from props, and I sent them to Alex, and he picked one. And he was like, at the casting room where everyone is sitting down, he's like, guys, I know you've seen some crazy stuff this season, but the one thing you haven't seen is the proposal. Grover Underwood, will you marry me?
One knee and all.
One knee and all, it was incredible and completely unscripted. He was not in on this bit at all. Walker gets up and he goes, no! And he objects and he comes on the stage, and it was this beautiful bachelor moment where I have to pick between my two loves.
You chose right.
I chose right.
I'm gonna post this video, guys. I literally have the whole video, okay? You guys be able to
No,
see
please
it.
don't do that.
After season 2 comes in.
All right, Walker, what you got?
All right, my favorite moment was when we were filming on the Ironclad, and we just come back from the Soyuz. I'm sorry, Daniel. We just come back from the Soyuz where we were filming, and it was a lot of the entire crew basically stayed out there. So they kind of learned that one of our ADs, Sue, is a really good singer, and we got back and I caught wind of this, and so did the director. And when we were on top of the Ironclad, I thought it'd be funny. I told Jason, I was like, we should do, because I had a big scene with Tyson up there, and so we should do the Titanic thing, when Jack holds Rose and that whole thing. And he said, yeah, and I thought it was a little joke, we weren't gonna do that. In the middle of our scene, Jason, because he's a giant microphone, there's these huge speakers all over the place, he stops us and goes, Walker, Daniel, assume Titanic position. So obviously, I get right behind Daniel, I grab onto his waist, he puts his arms out, and Sue gets on the mic and starts singing, My Heart Will Go On. It's a beautiful moment. It brought us closer.
Very different than the brotherly relationship.
Yeah.
It was nice.
All right, Leah, how about you?
Mine's is not as funny though. I feel like it's just a favorite moment. But however, I really like the chariots. Obviously, first of all, I love it because I'm a people person. So it was a lot of people. It was 400 background and stuff, and I just love having so many people around, and we're all seeing how we're doing each scene. You know what I mean? And also, plus I didn't have school at the time, so of course I could do anything. And then on top of that, when we were filming, like it was with real horses. So I'm gonna do a short story long because I'm not good at telling stories short. But basically, there was a scene where it was the real horses instead of just having us being pulled by a car. And there was the horses obviously, and we're on the chariot, and it was me and my charioteer Sage, and we were just talking, just like yapping it up. Thankfully, we had a harness on in the chariot. Oh yeah, but spoiler alert. And we were riding on the horse, and then I swear guys, I did not hear them say action. So we just yanked back because the horses decided to take off, and we're on the chariot, and they're literally going fast. So we literally yanked back, and we're like, she drops her her spear. I dropped my shield, and everything's just hanging back there. And then once we get to the front, it's where like the scenes like we kind of come into the scene. You know what I mean? Like you start far and you come into it. We get up to the camera and we're in our positions and stuff, and we were just laughing about it. We're like, oh my gosh, girl, like I can't believe that just happened. Like I was so scared. We're just laughing about it. And then one of our ADs, he is like very much locked in. Like if you are not locked in, like you're cooked. And so that's such like a weird word, but basically he just decides to yell at us. So we were laughing, and you just hear out of nowhere, I'm gonna step back there, but he's like, guys, stop laughing! We are acting, stop! And when I tell you, we locked in so quickly. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, but like we locked in so quickly, guys. Like I wish you would have been able to see it. I hope that comes into like a blooper or something. But when I tell you, it was the most funniest thing ever. Like I actually almost cried. Like he actually scared me, guys. You know what I'm saying? Love you though. Let's just go.
I'm gonna talk to the horse. There's no way the horse that I met would have taken off early. Snowflake was a good horse. Snowflake wouldn't have taken off quickly like that. So I'll talk to the horse people.
No kids or horses were harmed.
Yes.
Disney
Yes,
has
no,
to say.
nothing was harmed.
No kids are more importantly horses. Daniel,
Wait.
hit us up with yours.
Yeah, no, my answer's a little more sentimental, I guess, than funny. But I grew up reading the books when I was like 11, 12, 13. And I pretty quickly got my dad, No, I pretty quickly got my dad and my brother hooked on them as well. And so when the movies came out, we were the first kind of watch those, and it's been kind of like a family experience ever since then. It's been like a decade and a half, which is terrifying. But I think it was like a couple months in, and we were doing the chariot scene, so I was able to bring my family over, able to see the scene, see Camp Half-Blood, and be able to have my like new Percy family meet my real family. It's pretty special. Yeah. So sweet.
I feel bad.
I mean, besides turning to Rose for a moment, that was also my favorite.
All right, well, Dior won. She